Hey everybody, welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. We have got not one but two new properties today that we are going to be discussing. This video that I'm doing is going to be posted on both of their listing pages because these two properties are adjacent. Ergo, as you can imagine, all of the information discussed here will be applicable for both lots. I should mention we're selling them individually. We're selling them separately. That being said, if you would like to purchase both, if you would like to give us more money rather than less, we will oblige you on that. So, with all that said, let's get to the details. These are respectively VLNM2127N. This is located in Valencia County. It is a 2.5 acre lot in the Highland Meadows subdivision. And as you saw up here, this 2.5 acres is priced at $2,700. Additionally, gang, we also have this lot right here, which is adjacent to it. It is VLNM21270, like Oscar. Also in Valencia County, also in Highland Meadows. This 5 acre lot that we have is a combination of two adjacent 2.5 acre lots. So just as a quick reference, if I bring up the N property, N like Nancy here on the map, if you want to get a sense of the difference between the two, you've got this little structure right here that sits on an adjacent property. This it's a mobile modular home. This lot sits closest to it. It's not adjacent. There's one lot in between them. If I go to map view here, you'll see this is where that trailer sits. This is a vacant lot, and this is the first one that we own. So this is the N property right here, and the O properties are this lot and this lot right next to it. And if we go to the map on the O property, which I promise is what I'm doing, you will see, hey, there we go, 1 and 2. So these two lots right here. So a combination of 7.5 acres total that we're selling is 2.5 and 5. I hope that was clear. Whatever the case, let's go back to the listing page here on N. I'm going to spend most of this video on the N Nancy property, but as noted, everything discussed here will pretty much pertain to both. So, with that said, let's pull these up on a map. In case you don't know how to do that, on our listing pages here, we have GPS coordinates about halfway down the page. Click any one of these, and it'll bring up the maps that I was just showing you. So, as noted, this is located in the Highland Meadows subdivision. Let's talk where this is in the state of New Mexico. So if we zoom back far enough, what you're going to see is that Albuquerque, biggest city in the state here in the north central part of the state, is roughly about 30 minutes away from this to the property's east. So the property sits about 30 minutes west of Albuquerque. If we just do a little measured distance right there, you'll see, yep, roughly about 30 miles. And of course, because as you may have noticed, you are so close to the I-40, that is a quick 30-mile drive that you could do probably about 65, 70 miles an hour. You could probably accomplish it a lot faster than 30 minutes, but, you know, let's just say. It should also be noted that another major population center in New Mexico, Los Lunas, is equidistant to the property. So about 30 minutes into Albuquerque, 30 minutes into Los Lunas. So if you live and work in either one of these locations and you're looking to get away, you're looking to move out of the city, you know, buy some land for yourself where you can, you know, you don't have to worry about the rent going up because you control the piece of real estate, basically. But you still want to be close enough to live and work in the city, take advantage of all the, you know, nightclubs, restaurants, you know, baseball games, things like that. You will be close enough out here. Blah, blah, blah. It should also be noted that, well, let's just talk about the subdivision first. So this is Highland Meadows up here. It's all this area that you see carved out on the map. So you've got the area north of the 6 right here, and you've got the area south of the 6 right here. All of this is the Highland Meadows subdivision. In regards, you know, proximity to, say, grocery supplies, some amenities, I'd like to point out that your nearest town is not the ones 30 minutes away. It's this little town of Mesita over here, which if we right-click and measure distance, you can see is roughly, let's say, 10 miles, 10-minute drive, 10 miles as the crow flies. Whatever the case, this is a small town. Over here in Mesita, you're going to have you know, some minor restaurants to eat at, little cafes, things like that, Family Dollar in here, grocery stores, etc. You've also got the Laguna Police Department close by, in case you need them. They're only about a 10-minute drive away. And over here in Highland Meadows, you've got the Highland Meadows Volunteer Fire Department, which is basically right across the street. If they have to get you, they're just going to come quick up the 6 over here and then back down this way. So they're really close by in case you need them. Now, in regards to the Highland Meadows subdivision, it should be noted that this part here north of the 6 is the more developed area. I don't believe there are city utilities out here anywhere. I think that these are all just, you know, they've all got power running throughout the area. My guess is power is more readily available out here. It's more ubiquitous out here than it is in the southern part, which is why you don't see it as densely populated down here. I will, however, point out that if you zoom in on the map, what you're going to see is there's a number of people who are living out here. There are structures out here. And you don't have city water. You don't have city septic, city sewer out here. So because of that, What this leads me to believe is that all these people are using wells, and when you have this many people in close proximity of one another who are all most likely using wells, what that says to me is that the water table is probably pretty accessible, probably pretty affordable to tap into and to get a well drilled on the property. As always, of course, we recommend you talk to local well drillers, local vendors who do that sort of thing, but, you know, logic would dictate. Anyway, the town of Mesa that we were talking about earlier is it's a small town. You're going to have access to some things there, but not a lot of things. So it should be noted that, you know, as I mentioned, you got two major cities that are, you know, pretty close by, but the drive here along the 6 is a very picturesque drive into Los Lunas. And it should also be noted that you've got easy access to a Walmart Supercenter right here just before you get into the town. And then there is also a Home Depot close by, which of course I'm not going to see here on the map, but I promise you it's here somewhere close, etc. As well as, of course, you know, a bunch of different restaurants. And if you need a church or a hospital or a school, this is probably the place that you're going. FYI. With all that said, let's talk about property specifics here of these lots that we have here along the road. So I was talking about the trailer that sits over here earlier. We've got some pictures in the photo gallery, which I'll get to in a second. But the point of me showing you this is two things. Number one, you've got something of a neighbor, and what you'll see from the photos is that this looks like a pretty respectable home site. This is not, we'll just say, like riffraff. This is not somebody who showed up, parked 28 cars on his property, and started a meth lab. This is, you know, pretty respectable homeowner that you're going to have as a neighbor. More to the point, however, I'm showing you this because you can see that there's power, there are utilities going to this house. Now, it should also be noted that there are utilities along the back end of the N and the O properties. Utilities really going all along the back end here. So point being, and I'll show you these in the gallery as well. Point being, you've got power at the lot line, which should make it both easy and affordable to hook up to the grid. Etc. One last thing before I get to the photos, I just want to show you here about access because I just find this interesting. So, of course, you've got easy access here to both the 6 and the 40, but as far as getting out to the property, I just like to point this out. If you take the little guy here on Google Maps and you put him down right here, what you're going to see is that there's actually a pretty nice little entrance to Highland Meadows, minus the part that needs to be, what do they call it, repaved, etc. But the Highland Meadows Estates, look at this, guys. This is fancy, right? Anyway, but you come in here, you're going to bang a sharp left, and then take this little road out to the subject properties in question. So you come in here by the archway, and then you just kind of drive out this way. And also, as you'll see from the photos, which I should stop talking about and just show you, you've got pretty good road conditions out here. So, for instance, if you come down here and take a look at this, you're going to see, number one, hey, there's the neighbor right there. But also just, you know, well-maintained roads, the kind of thing that you can really access in any vehicle type. You don't need a giant truck to get out there. Additionally, you can see these are some photos of the power lines that run along the back end of the property. I believe that's the back end of the property. But as you look at more of these, what you'll see is that there are power lines in the distance right here along the back end of the lot. There's another photo of the neighbor's house with power running from it. I don't know that we have a lot of better pictures of that. Anywho, another thing to note here about Highland Meadows, which you'll see from the landscape here, is, so first of all, this property has ever so slight of an incline to it. So, you know, theoretically, you could build on one part of the property and have, you know, quote unquote better views than around the rest of the area. That being said, for the most part, this is a largely flat lot. Like much of Highland Meadows, this is very flat, easy to build on type of land. This isn't the kind of thing where you have to come in and excavate a whole bunch of land or landscape to get something that's even, you know, just basically buildable that you can start putting a trailer or mobile home on, etc. So it's another one of the benefits of being out here. I should also point out here in the distance, what you see is this sort of giant cell tower. Shockingly good cell reception in Highland Meadows. I'm always taken by that. My photographer goes out there. It's some of the best cell reception he ever gets. And I've heard it from locals out there that cell tower really services the area well. Here's another photo of the neighbor's house out there. I guess the neighbor wasn't home that day because I don't see a car parked. But anyway, additionally, you've got some striking views here of the Mesa Redonda off in the distance. I will pull that up on the map in just a second. Oh, hey, look at that. Another good picture of the house with the power that I keep talking about. Additionally, you can see some of your neighbors out here. So it's not a completely empty, desolate area, but you will have a lot of privacy to yourself. So that's, you know, one of the nice advantages here, particularly with the bigger lot, with the 5-acre lot, etc., etc. I will let you guys scroll through the photos on your own time. There's not that many. We had them out there shooting a bunch of properties at once. But, you know, the photos do a good enough job. And then we've got a drone video down here. It's not property specific, but it's from this part of the subdivision. So you'll get an excellent sense of the property, the terrain, the surroundings, etc. One last thing that I forgot to mention here on the map. You know, we're talking about what's close by, and Mesita's 10 minutes and Los Lunas is about 30 minutes. For something in between, it should be noted that the Route 66 Hotel and Casino is right here. Of course, they have restaurants there. They have a Johnny Rockets. They've got a buffet. They've got, I believe they have a movie theater there. I'm pretty sure they have a movie theater there. And, of course, gambling. So, place to hang out, a place to spend your time when you want to unwind. You don't have to drive all the way to Albuquerque. You don't have to drive all the way to Los Lunas. It should also be noted that here on the listing page, gang, we also have Route 66 Casino links if you want to learn more about that fine establishment. It'll bring up their website here where women are dressed like it's the 50s. I don't know. Pinups from is that the 50s or the 40s? I have no idea. Anyway, point being, you can learn more about the casino, the hotel, the dining, the entertainment, and yes, they do have a movie theater. All right, blah, blah, blah. With all that said, let's just go into some details here about zoning. So up here we have a PDF. If you click on this, it is going to bring up this. I will warn you, I keep getting some new messages here with these PDFs, things like this. Thankfully, these are the PG messages. Usually I get one telling me that hot singles want to meet me. But point being, guys, if you bring up this PDF, you can learn more about the zoning out there. For the record, the subdivision is zoned as Outland District, which is very comparable to rural residential. We could not find anything, any sort of literature in the zoning ordinance about Outland District that really gets into specifics, but it's very similar to RR1. Should be noted here, guys, on page 2, recreational vehicles, RV, shall not be used as primary residence in any RR1 district. That's important to know. A lot of people who call want to know, can I live out of my RV? Can I park my RV for indiscriminate periods of time? This is not necessarily the place where it's going to be zoned for that. That being said, is anyone ever going to say anything to you about it? I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but I do at least want to make you guys aware, just so nobody calls me 3 months after buying a property pissed off because I can't live out of my RV. So, interest of full disclosure. It should also be noted this is about 6 pages. It's a very easy read. It'll give you some good insights about that subdivision. And if you have any further questions on both these listing pages down here under county contact information, we have the Valencia County Planning and Zoning Office. You can reach out to them and you can ask them whatever hyper-specific questions you have. If your plan is to go out there and build a single-family residence, nobody's ever going to object to that. If your plan is to go out there and put down a mobile modular home, as long as it's got a permanent foundation, they're probably going to be cool with it. So when you get into, quote-unquote unconventional things, the types of things that some of our buyers want to do that are not as common in New Mexico, tiny homes, shipping container homes, so on and so forth, that's where you really want to dig into the planning and zoning office, get them on the phone and talk their ear off first and find out, can I do this? And if yes, what kind of additional permits do I need? And what do they cost, et cetera, et cetera. So really, before you give us $1, or really anybody $1 to buy land, these are the kinds of questions you should be asking. It should also be noted we have some other links here. As always, we link to the local utility. In that case, this is PNM. Click on that. It's going to take you to their website. As noted, the property has power at the lot line on the back end of the property. Both these lots do. So should be easy, should be affordable, but don't take my word for it. Reach out to them, ask them, say, hey, you guys have got power lines on a property I'm about to buy. Realistically, what do I need to know? How hard is that? How expensive is that? What are the hookup fees? What's it going to cost to get power to my new whatever, house, trailer, etc.? It should also be noted, guys, that we have the link to the Office of the New Mexico State Engineer. These are the people responsible for well permits, residential wells, and commercial wells in the state of New Mexico. So if you want water rights, if you want to get permitted for a well, you're going to have to talk to them. That being said, as noted earlier, when I see this many people living in a small area like this, kind of deserted area like this, I presume they probably all have wells. I don't assume they're all using holding tanks, and they certainly don't have access to city utilities. So most likely getting a well out there is, not that hard to do. It's not prohibitively expensive as it is in some other places. Blah, blah, blah. But of course, as always, we recommend that you talk to local well drillers. One last thing I want to mention, on both these properties, we closed on these through New Mexico Land and Title. It means we have title insurance on these. Of course, we guarantee clear and marketable title, quote, with all of our properties. That being said, I do not have an underwriter who insures my properties for me. So that's why we go through a title company on some of these, and we get the official word that, yes, free and clear. Point being, with that, we will provide you a warranty deed on either of these properties. All right, guys, with all that said, if you are interested in purchasing one of these properties, just come up here on either listing page, click the Buy Now button, and it will take you to a secure checkout. On this checkout page, we're going to ask you for a couple pieces of information. What name or names do you want on the deed? You, your wife, your husband, your kids, your dog. Not really your dog, but you get the point. Additionally, tax address. Where's the county treasurer going to send your annual tax statement to? Once you fill this out, agree to the terms of service, click the next button, and on the next page, we will ask for credit or debit card information. You put down the money, and you check out. And as far as we are concerned, you now own the property. We are the current owner. Once you give us money, it is yours to do with as you please. Practically speaking, the way this process works, so we're going to get you an email within 24 hours. It's going to have a copy of the new deed, putting the property into your name. Once you approve it, once you say, yes, you spelled my name and my wife's name and my dog's name correctly, we're going to autograph it, notarize it, mail it off to the county to be recorded. County records it, and then they will forward it on to you. Start to finish, it's about a 3-week process before you have that, recorded deed, before you have that hard copy, that slip of paper in your hand. That being said, again, once you give us the money, it is yours to do with as you please. Go out there, have fun, begin camping, begin building, so on and so forth. It should be noted, guys, the O like Oscar, O like ostrich property for $5,500. If you want to buy this one and you don't have a credit or a debit card that can accommodate this kind of purchase, or this is so outside the norm of your purchasing history, your transaction will most likely be declined by your bank. Just call them up and tell them, no, I'm actually trying to buy something for $5,500, and they should approve it. If they do not, or if you have daily limits on a debit card or something, just reach out to our offices, 702-919-7170, or shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com, and we will come up with whatever you need, 5 $1,000 checkouts, or whatever, etc. We will accommodate that. Additionally, it should also be noted, if you would like title insurance on these properties, either one of them, and you want to close through a title company, you can learn more about that process under how it works, buying from us. Come up here, click that, it'll take you to this listing page. And typically with properties under $10,000, we just recommend that we write the deed ourselves and we'll record it for you. But if you're not comfortable with that, that's fine. We can close through title. We'll ask you for some kind of earnest money deposit, say $500, and then we'll draft a contract. We sign it, you sign it, we'll submit it to title and escrow, and they will do the rest. Of course, the benefits here are not only that you get title insurance, but that we cannot touch your money until such a time as the property has been recorded into your name. And in case you're saying, hey, Hemingway, I'm not signing anything until I see a contract, I'm not putting down any money, it's very easy, guys. Calm down. Just click this link right here. It'll take you to this page, where you can see a generic version of one of our standard contracts. Whatever we send you is going to look very similar to this, with just the the X's and the Y's and the Z's and the numbers replaced to be the actual numbers. One page for signatures. Title company will not do anything till they have a contract from buyer and seller demonstrating intent, and we will not write the contract until we have some amount of money down. And in this case, we'll ask for about $500 on that, if you want to do it that way. Otherwise, we'll write the deed ourselves, and bing, bang, boom, we'll get it done in 3 weeks' time. We'll have it recorded for you and in your hands. All right, guys, that's enough of me talking. Thanks so much for your patience and attention. If you have any questions, again, shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com, or email 702-919-7170. As always, comments on the YouTube videos here are much appreciated. So leave them there, and we'll get back to you mucho pronto. Thanks for watching.